Let's open with a prayer. I open this service with a prayer, and I open this prayer with what I know to be the most potent words I can speak. Thank you. And from that point, I continue by recognizing that there is only one God, one Father, Mother, Parent, Creator of the one life, known by many names, but still only one. I know that the one life is my life now and the life of all people, all animals, all nature. All of us here, all of us out there, all everywhere. And we are all united as one family. And on this day before Valentine's Day, we think of the greatest love of all, the love we have for ourselves. Yes, we are called to radically and unconditionally love ourselves first. So faithfully and fondly from this place of recognition, we open our hearts and minds to trust what we know is true of God, as we each declare, in the words of Reverend Raymond Anderson, love in me, as me, is me, today, tomorrow, and eternally. And so it is. It's so good to see all of you. I'm so happy to be here with you again. It's week 7 of 2022. Can you believe it? How can that be possible? It just doesn't seem like it can be possible. But how beautiful and steadily and in sync life marches on. I have no doubt that we will augment what we learned last week about first cause from our wonderful guest speaker, Louise Tallen. And I'll tell you a little more about her in just a little bit. And there can never be too much information on co-creating with spirit. As is my custom this morning, my early morning prayers, I light the candles so that you can see it when you come on, and because I direct it to welcome you when you come here. I hope it'll be the first thing you see. So, and welcome you we do, no matter what denomination you may have come from, or what denomination you were raised in, or even if this is your first spiritual experience, you are welcome here. We welcome and honor all paths to the divine. But the most important thing for you to know right now is that you are welcome here. Join me, if you will, in our mission statement. Say it with me, if you would. To teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science and mind, and celebrating all paths to God. And our vision statement, a world that honors and respects all people. So now we move into our opening song, which is Blessed by Denise Rosier.
All that I have is blessed. All that I give is blessed. All that I am is blessed, blessed. All that I have is enough. All that I give is enough. All that I am is enough. Blessed. Thankful that I give is blessed. All that I am is blessed, blessed. All that I have is enough. All that I give is enough. All that I am is enough. Blessed. Thankful, so thankful. Thankful, I am thankful. And now let's spend a little bit of time in gratitude right there where you are. Tell us what your blessings are this week. What are you thankful for? My family, my friends, people singing with me. We are so thankful. Thankful, so thankful. Thankful, I am thankful. All that I have is blessed. All that I have is blessed. All that I give is blessed. All that I am is blessed, blessed. All that I have is enough. All that I have is enough. All that I give is enough. All that I am is enough. Blessed. I am 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 blessed.
I am the co-creator of my life. This morning, our practitioner of the week is Miss Vicki Jeter, and she will be doing our spiritual reading and meditation. Vicki?
Thank you, Pat. Good morning. The divine incarnation is inherent in our nature. We are immersed in an infinite knowingness. The question is, how much of this reality are we going to express in our own lives? The direct approach is always best and the most effective, insofar as any man, woman, or child has spoken the truth. There has been proclaimed God. It matters not what particular approach may have been taken. The scientist and the philosopher, the priest and the professor, the humanitarian and the empire builder, all have caught some gleam of the eternal glory, and each has spoken the truth in his own tongue. That language, which of itself is universal and speaking through all of us. Let us do away with the ponderosity of thought and approach the thing simply and quietly. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. It cannot give us more. It cannot give us less. It has given all. it is up to us to accept it and embrace the greater gift. Spiritual wisdom says that God manifests through everything, animate and inanimate, and is incarnated in all men, women, children, plants, animals, all forms of every nature. That is the divinity and the nature herself. It is the body of God. The mechanical laws of nature are set and immutable, but the spontaneous recognition we have of it gives us the power to bring those laws into practical, everyday application. Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, page 42. Now, I want to invite us all just to take a breath, breathe in deeply, maybe a little stretch, and at the top of that breath, there's a pause. Notice the pause between your inhale and your exhale. Exhale slowly and completely in kindness to your nervous system. As we enter into our time of meditation today, I want to remind each of us about first cause, as Pat suggested in her opening, and the benefit of that right here and right now is that the national theme for this week is pause for the cause. And so our meditation today, we're going to do that in a little practice. We talked about that some last week. I want to remind you all, first cause is another name for spirit. First cause is another universal name for the thing itself. And first cause is ever present, omnipresent, always. And then, as the reading suggests, then there's what we do with it. And so this meditation is an opportunity to practice using your idea of universal first cause as your focal point for your meditation. So I'm going to be inviting some ideas that will run through your system personally. And then as you have your personal experience, pivoting back to the universal first cause. And so take another breath with me. And with these ideas in mind, first, find your concept of universal spirit in your understanding and bring that concept to the center of your being, whatever that might mean to you. And with first cause, in which there is no separation between us, no separation from good, no separation from inspiration and wisdom. With that as our central fulcrum and focal point, take a moment now to just consider cause to you personally. There's first cause, and that's at the hub. Now, if we were to imagine perhaps a bicycle wheel with many spokes, from first cause that expresses in, through, and as all of us, there is what we do with it personally. Each spoke is a different branch of our life, a different experience, a different impression we've had of what it means to be a spiritual being having this human experience. And so pick an area. Let's say first we'll go to health. So spirit expresses as us in first cause, and we have our unique experience of it. So in your health, when you think of causes and conditions, Is there an area that calls for more awareness? Is there an area that when you actually experience it, it doesn't feel like you're one with God? Check for the cause. And now take a breath and dip back into first cause, where there is no separation. And pick another spoke, another branch of your life, perhaps relationships. And so when you consider your relationships, some are easier than others. Some, it's easy to see that we're in alignment and one with cause. And then others, we stand back and we say, where did that come from? There. Stop and remember, only one first cause. And so as causes and conditions in your own personal experience, where is alignment called for? What is the apparent separation in the challenging relationship or relationships? Ask and it shall be given, because it is always available. So one more time, let's say, dip now back into first cause, take a breath in the zone of no separation of any kind where everything is available, and then let's pick the spoke of abundance. Think about your relationship to abundance. Think about your relationship to finances in your life. Do you feel that sense of no separation from all good? Or do you have an adversarial relationship with finances? If finances were a relationship in your life, would it be free to come and go as it pleases? Would you smile when you see finances coming? Where might there be some work in the alignment? What is cause in your personal experience of abundance and finances? Taking a breath, dropping back to first cause. Just stop to consider that this is the dance we're doing all the time. And the more we take the opportunity to spend time in treatment, meditation, and visioning, the stronger these relationships get, and the more readily we are able to drop back into first cause and recognize that what we do with it personally in the arenas of form is a choice. Namaste.
Thank you, Vicki. Next up is special music. And since tomorrow is Valentine's Day, I thought we needed a very special song to suggest to us love and to suggest to us that all there is love. And please enjoy Melba Harris's All There Is Love.
Love is where I came from. Love is what I'm here for. When all is said and done, all there is love. Love is where I came from. Love is what I'm here for. is what I'm here for. When all is said and done, all there is love. Love is where I came from. Love is what I'm here for. When all is said and done, all there is love. Love is where I came from. Love is what I'm here for. When all is said and done, all there is love. All there is love. All there is love.
Our own Melba Harris. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Louise Tallen. And I'm going to, normally I just run through an introduction because there are bits and pieces. I don't want you to miss any of this, so I'm gonna read a lot of this because it's important for me for you to know what Louise is to us in this faith and philosophy and in the community in general. But Louise has been a licensed spiritual practitioner since 2006. She serves at the Ahava Spiritual Center in Lexington, Kentucky, our sister church here in Kentucky. She serves her local community and the larger CSL organization. She was the Region 10 practitioner representative for 5 years and served for 3 years on the CSL Practitioner Council. And 2 of those years she was co-chair. Just recently, last month, she was the recipient of the 2022 Centers for Spiritual Living Meritorious Practitioner Award. Ooh, I'm so inspired. And she holds a PhD in medical and psychological anthropology. She has a thriving coaching business where she coaches individuals, couples, nonprofit groups, and she brings to her coaching work compassion and deep listening, and starts with the premise of wholeness and that no one is broken, that everyone is a radiant being just waiting to bloom and blossom. She believes in serving her community and has served on the boards of the Lexington Fairness, a local nonprofit which advocates for equal rights for the LGBTQ community, and Tweens Nutrition and Fitness Coalition, which advocates for food justice and healthy living for underserved populations. In addition, she is the co-founder and co-chair of Bluegrass Rainbow Faith Communities, a coalition of faith communities across central Kentucky that are open and affirming, and she is the co-lead of SAGE of the Bluegrass. She also, the Bluegrass Rainbow Faith Communities has a special focus on on health and wellness. and the needs of mature and older LGBTQ adults. She also believes, as I do, in the power of play. She is a member of a professional improvisational theater team which performs regularly in Lexington, and she uses the improv tools to help unleash creativity and confidence in her clients in her coaching business. Wow. Wow. You know her from seeing her here with us before, but we are so excited to have her back again. Welcome, Louise.
Welcome. It's I hope I can live up to that bio. It's really a joy to be with y'all, and I'm so happy that you invited me to be with you this morning. It's always fun when I'm here with you. And I'm really happy to be invited to speak this month because our theme for the month is Living Everyday Wonder, the Inner Life. And every year, rather than setting goals or making resolutions or intentions, I just pick a word to guide me. And the word that came to me this year is wonder. And living in a state of wonder allows us to live in the beginner's mind all the time. And the beginner's mind is a place of curiosity and possibility and, yes, wonder. And last week, our theme was, Can I See God in Me? And I thought Vicki did a wonderful talk. And I particularly appreciated this piece where she said, creation moves from spirit, the unseen cause, into form, which is the effects of the inner life. Your inner life is your unseen thoughts, feelings, imaginations, and beliefs. These make up the inner life, the playground and classroom of your spirit and soul. The quality of your experience and spirit and soul is reflected in the quality of your effects of your life. And these inner life expressions are like a canvas where we paint the blueprints of our part of co-creating our experiences. I love that. And she also talked about our relationship with spirit and the idea that universal first cause is spirit for everyone equally, and that cause operates through you. And she asked the question, can I see cause in me? Which is a great question. And this week, our topic is pause and find the cause. We learn in science of mind that there is an invisible cause back of all things, and that our individual cause is made up of our beliefs and our thoughts. Not just random thoughts, but the tendency of our thoughts. Because if it was just random thoughts, then most parents wouldn't survive their children's adolescence. Because I'm sure that many of us have had the thought, I wish my parents were dead when we were 14 or 15 or 16. Many of us come into new thought because either our life isn't working the way we want it to, or if it is working okay, we want to make it better. And we learn that to change our reality, we have to change our thought patterns. This is all well and good, but often people get stuck. And I think the reason people get stuck is they jump to trying to find the cause without first pausing. And pausing is really an interesting idea, especially now where people are obsessed with shortcuts, with life hacking. And Wikipedia defines life hacking as any trick, shortcut, skill, or novelty method that increases productivity and efficiency. And it was a term originally used by computer experts who suffered from information overload. And hacking eliminates the pause, promising a faster way to get where you want to go. A Google search for life hacks turned up 206 million results. So clearly it's a hot topic. And life hacks are attractive because we want to jump to figuring things out. We want a simple process or a one-time ritual that will fix everything so we can live the life we want. However, if we don't pause first, we run the risk of just juggling our effects without getting at the real cause. So I want to talk about the pause. And a pause is a gap, a space in time that allows for reflection and introspection. If you're willing to sit in the pause and fight the urge to figure it out, to take shortcuts to hack your life, the answers will come. The pause allows room for the still, small voice of the divine to be heard. Take a moment and think about how often you really allow for a pause. Think about conversations you have with others. How often do you really listen to someone else without crafting your response as they speak? In fact, think about what you're doing right now. Are you actually listening to me, Or are you thinking about what you need to do, or whether or not you like or don't like what I say or agree, or about your grocery list? So think about how often you really pay attention, because you can't pay attention without pausing your thought process. And I've had clients, many, who've said to me they are afraid to pause because they don't want to deal with what might come through in the pause. If you pause, those aspects of yourself you've rejected might come pouring into the gap. And that is the crux of the issue. If we want to find the cause, we have to pause. The tagline for Science of Mind is change your thinking, change your life. However, it's not possible to change your thinking if you don't even know what you're really thinking. And you can't know what you're thinking if you don't take time to pause. So how do we pause? Well, let's take the word as an acronym for pause, accept, uncover, support, and evolve. And let me break it down. First, the P stands for pause, which we've been talking about. Stop and allow for the gap. How do you do that? By using the tools in your spiritual toolbox. First, through prayer, that conscious connection with spirit. Prayer in and of itself is a pause, a space in which you stop and remember that every moment is holy, sacred, divine. And that space of pausing in prayer, again, is another space where we become aware of the fact that we are one with the one, that there is only that wonder and that place of love and grace that is one. Second, we pause through meditation, which allows for our mind and body to pause. Meditation without a goal, because we meditate because we think it will bring relaxation, improve our mental capacity, or improve our mood, we're restricting possibility. Pausing and allowing increases possibilities. So meditation without a fixed aim is a great way to simply open up that gap and let possibility flow in. A third way to pause is by cultivating awareness of your habitual thought and behavior patterns with loving kindness towards yourself. As Ernest Holmes writes in Can We Talk to God, when the mind is peaceful and still, it catches a vision of a greater good. And he writes that spiritual power arises from a consciousness of our unity with the whole and an awareness of the direct responsiveness of spirit to us. It is the pause that allows us to remember this unity. And so once we've taken a chance to pause, and again, none of this is something we do once, right? We do this over and over again because we don't just get life once. It's a process and a practice that we do forever. And so once we've paused, we can begin the process of accepting, which again, takes a lifetime. So when we think about changing our lives, we often start from the place that there is something about ourselves that is bad or wrong, and we need to fix it. When we start from this place, we're focusing on the wrongness, and that's what we'll get more of, because that's where our thoughts are focused. What if instead you paused and accepted those parts of yourself you have rejected? What if you loved all of yourself, the things you like, the things you say you don't like, and the things you hide from others? What if you loved it all? Radical acceptance of ourselves is the key to real change. I often say the only thinking that needs changing is the thinking we need changing. And I'll say that again. The only thinking that needs changing is the thinking we need changing. Because when we come from the place that we need to change in order to be okay, then we will never be okay, because it's always a moving target. But if we start from the idea that we're okay just the way we are, right in this moment, messy, complex, complicated human beings, then we've allowed a space, a pause, or a gap for the divine to flow in, through, and as us. And once we've paused and accepted, we're ready to uncover the real cause back of our effects. And those are the beliefs we have about how the world is and our place in it. And these beliefs are often formed very early in our lives. And as we grow, we look for evidence to support those beliefs. The beliefs are not reality, but we make them our reality. This is how the law of attraction works. It's not magic. If I have a core belief that I am not lovable, I will attract people who don't love me. Again, not by magic, but by attention. Someone who is loving and kind will seem weird to me, and I'm likely to discount them. However, someone who is unkind will seem normal, and I will be attracted to them. Then they will treat me unkindly because that's who they are. And this will prove to myself that I'm unlovable because I've been treated unkindly again. And the only way to change this is to uncover these beliefs. And this takes time and a willingness to pause and do the work. And this is where the support comes in, because often we can't do this on our own. It's important to get the support of someone who will provide unconditional positive regard for you, not a friend who's going to buy into your misery or give you advice or tell you what to do or tell you how wrong you are, but someone who's going to provide unconditional positive regard, which is a basic acceptance of all of who you are, and someone who supports the idea that you have within you all the resources you need for understanding. And that unconditional positive regard is powerful because it's an attitude of grace. It's an attitude that values you, even knowing your failings or what you think are your failings, because they're really not failings, they're just part of you. And it can be really a profound relief to drop our pretenses, confess what we believe are our worst inner things, and discover that we're still accepted. How freeing is it to find out that you can tell another human being those things you're terrified for anyone to know and have them love you and say, you're okay just the way you are. If you seek the support of a trusted practitioner, coach, or therapist who can model this for you, you can learn to do it for yourself. And this ties back to the acceptance I talked about earlier. And this brings us to evolve. The truth is, we're always evolving, always changing. The question is, do you want to evolve consciously or unconsciously? Pausing allows us to evolve consciously, to know where we've been and where we want to go, to embrace all of ourselves with love and unconditional positive regard. And this allows our perceptions of ourselves and others to change, which in turn can affect our lives and the lives of others in positive ways. There is no hack for any of this, no shortcut. It's a process and a lifetime practice. And I want to add one more piece to this. We tend to focus in science of mind on the power of our thoughts. But the truth is, what really affects our relationships with others and ourselves is our behavior. And our behavior is the way our thoughts are outpictured in the world. Here too, pausing is essential. When I was in graduate school, I had an advisor who had an interesting conversational style that at first drove me crazy. I met regularly with Professor K. After I said something, he would take a long time to respond, sometimes as long as 60 seconds, which in a regular conversation, believe me, seems like an eternity. I found that during this pause, I would get nervous, anxious. I'd wonder if he'd heard me, if he was listening, if he was somewhere else. But what I soon discovered is that he really listened without judgment. And the pause came about because he wasn't thinking about a response while I was talking. What I also discovered is that he never said anything that wasn't meaningful. The pause allowed him to get to the heart of the matter and say only what was meaningful and powerful. And giving others the gift of pausing can also be powerful. And I've discovered this is true with my clients. When I work with clients, I let them pause. I don't rush in if they're silent with questions, comments, or follow-ups. I just allow for silence. And what I've discovered is that it's in that silence, in that pause, that clients do their most powerful work. I've had clients who've been silent for as long as 4 or 5 minutes. If I don't jump in, almost universally when they do speak, they've had an important revelation because they've had that time to pause and reflect and go deep into their own inner work. Now, a caveat to this, if you're a practitioner, is to do this successfully, you really have to be aware of your clients and comfortable with your own ability to sense what someone else needs in the moment. You have to know the difference between a pause that says I'm working and a pause that says I need help. And the power of the pause is evident. So I want to leave you with 2 thoughts. The first is from neuroscientist David Linden, and it is a reminder that we are each on our own journey of discovery with our own places to pause, and that our own particular beliefs and feelings in any given moment affect our experience. That is, our momentary cause affects our momentary effects. And so what he says is the deep truth of being human is that there is no objective experience. Our brains are not built to measure the absolute value of anything. All that we perceive and feel is colored by expectation, comparison, and circumstance. There is no pure sensation, only inference based on sensation. 30 minutes fly by in a conversation with a good friend, but seem interminable when waiting in line at the DMV. That fat raise you got at work seems nice until you learn that your coworker got one twice as large as yours. A caress from your sweetheart during a loving, connected time feels warm and delightful, but the very same touch delivered during the middle of a heated argument feels annoying and presumptuous, bordering on violation. So it's a great reminder that where we are in any given moment has a big effect on what we perceive as real. And so again, taking that moment to pause allows us to check if our perceptions match reality. And the second thing I want to leave you with is a quote from Bishop Yvette Flunder. You have been in the antechamber long enough. It is your time to step into the light. So this week, I invite you to pause. Pause before speaking, pause before acting, pause before thinking. Allow for that gap. The pause is the space where God resides. Live there, step into the light. So I want to invite us just to go into prayer together. As we take that moment, indeed, to pause and allow the divine to flow in. For in truth, the divine is never absent because it is all there is. But there are moments when we forget that. We forget that the divine is all there is. So in this moment, I anchor into that. I anchor into that knowingness that there is only one power, one presence, one life, one universal cosmic isness that is in, through, and as everything. It is in our cause, in our effects, in the gaps and pauses of our lives. It is everywhere. And in this moment, I particularly know that one as love, as peace, as order, knowing that whatever is the truth of the one is the truth of me and is the truth of each beloved on this Zoom call. And I declare this truth as I speak of this word, knowing that each of us is that divine essence personified, that indeed every moment, God fills every gap in our lives, that in any moment of hesitation, uncertainty, unwillingness, that God is there in that gap, filling that space for us. And that love and that grace, that order, that goodness that is God pours through us. And as it pours through us, it reaches out to others and embraces them. For we are each standing in the light of our own goodness. And as we shine the light of our own goodness, we allow others to be lit up. For that, in truth, is the responsibility of our lives, to make others shine, to help others be the brilliant light they are. And when we do that, the world is a brighter place. And so this absolutely is a truth of each of us, that we are those bright lights of God, shining our unique brilliance. Our unique brilliance. For we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we have come to be right here, right now, without anything changing. You are the most beloved of God. I absolutely know this. I claim it. And for knowing it, for speaking my word, I give thanks. And I release this prayer into that beautiful action of the law, knowing it is so. And I allow it to be by saying, and so it is.
Thank you so, so much, Louise. We are now to our time of prosperity, and it is very much my pleasure to invite you to just, let's take that pause. Let's take that pause as we shift into prosperity consciousness and the flow of the circulation of all good from spirit. really practicing what we're learning. Take a breath and exhale. There is actually a pause on both ends of that breathing. And that is divinely ordained. Of this I am certain. We are always both the essence and the process with us all the time. And so as we have shifted, you see on the screen our prosperity affirmation. And I'm going to suggest that we actually say this twice, at the beginning of our prosperity and also at the end. With the heart of a child, I accept my good. Thank you. So say that with me. With the heart of a child, I accept my good. Thank you. And you'll find in the chat all the information that you could possibly need for giving of your tithes and offerings if you would like. We are appreciative of everything that moves through our center, all of your time, talents, and treasures, and we receive them all. I know for sure Pat always tells me that she's blessing the offerings, and so just know that you are showered with appreciation and love. And if you ever have a question about any of this, please just let us know. You can find contact information for all of us at the bottom of the weekly update that comes out. And if for any reason you are not receiving that update, also please do let us know, because it has all of this in there, including just a link you can click for giving. So once again, with the heart of a child, I accept my good. Thank you. And now I shall turn over the offering basket to Miss Pat for our blessing.
One God, one life, one supply. Thank you for being the light from within that halos our talents, time and treasure, and causes us to understand that the flow of all three from us is the same, that circles back to us multiplied. We are grateful to be blessed in such ways, individually and as a center. So blessing the gift and the giver, I offer these words to Allah that always says yes, and I release them there to be evident. And so it is.
And now we have our announcements. Don't you just love the slides that Pat did for February? You guys should know, just in case some of you may not be aware, but certainly Miss Pat is multi-talented as our spiritual director, and so much of our creativity comes through her. So the first announcement, let me get my piece of paper to back me up here. What? Yeah. So the first announcement, as you can see, is that men's group is this Thursday at 6:30. And that's on this same link. Anybody that would like to join, any men in your lives that you'd like to invite to come, just have them click this link, and Vernon opens up that call at about 6:15.
Yes, and there's a omission there. It is the first Thursday and the third Thursday, and I only put the fourth one on there. So I believe that's the third. That is the first.
Yes, that was a little confusing, but what she's saying is that every month it's the first Thursday and the third Thursday. This one being the third Thursday is the 17th. Thank you, Pat. And this is kind of interesting for me, sort of looking at myself in the mirror. Next week, I will be speaking again. It's absolutely my pleasure. So this week we had Pause for the Cause. Next week is Forgive to Live. And it just tickled me as I saw the kind of rhythm and poeticness of even the titles. So next week is Forgive to Live Freely. And we're going to take everything that's been said so far and move it into the process of forgiveness. And finally, of course, you are magnificent. And happy Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Thank you, Vicki. Next up, we're gonna send you off here before our benediction with Mr. Michael Gott. I release and I let go. Look at us, Michael.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release. I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I am free in the Spirit. Yeah. Do you want to be free? Then let me hear you say yes. Yes, I'm only here for God. I know.
Yes, indeed. We can release, let go, and let God. What a great feeling. And ending the service as we began. For the collective, I say thank you. And we carry the gratitude we feel right now into the coming week. We are so blessed to have this day, our yesterday, and all of our tomorrows. We are blessed to have each other. We are blessed to have Zoom, and we are blessed to have this philosophy that taught us that God is within us and we are never separated. Not now, not ever. So still, experiencing the high of Louise's words, the rendition of release and let go. We are inspired, we are lifted up, and I send these joyful words into a law that always says yes, automatically and impartially, and there I release them. And so it is. Amen.